Parent Entrepreneur Power. Conversation number 208.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? Entrepreneur Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Okay, Power Parents, guess who? You know who I am. And I got to tell you, today is a solo episode where I really wanted to share a couple of insights with you from this last year of building relationships with people and with my clients' prospects in addition to my own. So buckle up, because this is going to be really a let's be real kind of episode. Let's really talk about what this takes and where we're going, and what of the guru's information you might want to listen to and what you might want to let blow past. Because really, when we're all in here trying to build businesses, right? Most of us, almost all of us, are trying to build online businesses. And in order to do that, if you're anything like me and you've chased all these squirrels up all these trees and you've chased these shiny objects everywhere, you know that when you get bit by some bug and you start going off after, well, just put up this online course and it'll make you lots of money. You put up the course and people will come, or just do Facebook ads, or just do, content creation and get your content out there. Just go to seminars. I mean, there's all kinds of tips and tricks that everybody's telling us. And I am not going to give you a tip or a trick or tell you to follow this thing. You know, I've been using Facebook Messenger for the last almost a year. You know, I've had amazing success with that, but I'm not going to talk specifically about using Facebook Messenger and try and get you to follow that squirrel. I'm going to talk about what is behind that and the reason that Messenger and programs like it and chatbots and all those things are working. It's not the chatbot. It's not the Messenger. That's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the actual face of online business, because really what's going to work is relationship building. These are people. So let's say you go and there's some guru that talks about how their online course launch made them $100,000 when they launched it the first time. Okay, that's fantastic. And we love those numbers, and we love big, huge numbers. And oh my gosh, we all get big wide eyes, like a deer in the headlights kind of idea when we see those kinds of things. And that's amazing. But you know what? You got to break it down. No one, absolutely no one, starts up their computer one day for the very first time. They've never been online or done anything. They get a computer, they start it up, they go in, they follow this sequence of events of let's put up an online course, let's do a Facebook group, let's do a challenge, whatever. And that challenge leads to a $100,000 launch. It just doesn't happen. There has to have been some kind of track record or relationships or some foundation built before that. And that's what I want to talk about today, because really you have to put that face on online business. You have to put that face to online business. And the only way to do that is to think about the fact that these are people. They're people you're selling to. They're not just numbers of 5,000 email subscribers or 500 messenger subscribers or whatever you're talking about, or 10 sales or 1,000 sales. These are people. These are human beings. And since email open and click-through rates are so low, we have basically become accustomed to thinking in huge numbers of subscribers in order to make any money. And in email terms, that's usually the way it works, since only about 20 to 30% of the people on any email list, on average, actually open the message. And then anywhere from 1 to 5%, if you're lucky, actually click through to a offer page or sales page. So you got to have huge numbers in order for that to happen, right? Because if you have 1,000 people on your list, let's see if Mary can do math really quickly here. off the cuff. So if you have 1,000 people on your list and 20% open your message, that's 200, I believe. Okay, 200 people. And out of 200 people, then only 1% buy, then that's what? Two out of 1,000 people on your email list. So of course you need huge numbers in order to make any number of sales. All right. So now let's switch it up, and you know the messenger numbers, right? If you have 1,000 people on your messenger list and 80% open, that's 800. And you have 60% click through, that's 480. Then your same 1% conversion, you've got 48 sales instead of just 2. So there's where those numbers, if you just look at them as numbers, make a big difference. But my point today is to specifically say, this is not just numbers. We're talking about people. And when we talk about people, what I want you to think about is your numbers in Messenger will probably be lower. My experience with my clients is that the number of people in their Messenger list, I mean, I have one client who has 5 million likes on their Facebook page, and they have 140,000 people in their Messenger list, and we haven't even hardly done anything yet. So that's aside, that's obviously huge numbers. But my standard clients who are making lots of money, first, we're making lots of money through their email, but now they're supplementing and increasing that money through Messenger. They only have, say, anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people in their Messenger list. And that's because they have, 500,000 people who've liked their Facebook page. Okay. So let's take me. I only have about 700 people in my Messenger list. A lot of my clients, anywhere from 500 to, like I said, 3,000, 4,000, 3,000, I would say, people in their Messenger list. So the numbers are smaller, but because of those percentages of engagement and people actually enjoying what you say and you back and forth engaging with them in an automated way, it makes a huge difference. And so let me share with you what I mean by that. So you don't need the huge numbers in Messenger like you do need them in email. And here is a case study I want to share with you. So I had a prospect basically contact me on Friday, February 2nd, 2018. We'll call him CK. Okay, so CK messages me through a friend and says, hey, I heard you can do Messenger stuff for webinars. And I said, sure. And he says, I'm conducting a live webinar on Tuesday evening, which is 4 days away? Tuesday evening, February 6th, 2018. And he wanted to know if I could create and monitor one of my Messenger funnels with the intent to get prospects to the webinar to convert to a sale of his $397 course. Okay, so normally we're part of a marketing team that prepares launches like this for at least a month in advance. But I said, okay, we'll give it a go, which is my motto lately for the last year. My motto has been, okay, I'll try that. Or, okay, I'll think about that. Now I'm starting to say no more. But my motto has always been, okay, let's try that. And that's what's gotten to be where I am now, right now. But anyway, so that's what I said. Okay, we'll give it a go. But we don't have much time to get Messenger subscribers. So how many people do you have on your email list? I asked him. And he said 100,000 people. Well, of course, that's a number I love to hear, right? 100,000 people on your email list. You've got a lot. Even if only, 20% open that, yeah, you do the math, right? You've got 20,000 people opening your message. All right. So we went to work and I had the basic lead generation tool built and ready to accept subscribers within about 2 hours. So CK already had a ManyChat account, and ManyChat was what I was using for this because he already had that. So we built out some growth tools, and these are basically like the lead boxes. If you're familiar with landing pages and putting in lead boxes and lead buttons to collect emails and things. So we built out 4 of those entrances to the funnel. Is basically what I'm talking about. And everything was supposed to go live after I built that Friday afternoon. Everything was supposed to go live on Saturday, February 3rd, but you know how that goes. I gave him a link to send to his 100,000 person email list and a couple of other things, a Facebook ad, blah, blah, blah. Emails were not sent until Sunday, the 4th. And there's another entrance for webinars. Basically, it's called a reminder. It's a webinar reminder. And so on the thank you page, once they've subscribed via email, like normal, everybody's used to that. So once they've subscribed via email, we put a Get Reminders in Facebook Messenger button right underneath all the other information after you've said thank you and told them what was going to happen. We say Get Reminders in Messenger by clicking this button. And so we have a button so that then they can subscribe to Reminders in Messenger. And that button for the thank you page didn't actually go live until Monday, the day before the webinar, the 5th. Okay. So I think we were supposed to have a Facebook ad, but it was only active for less than 24 hours. So really nobody came in that way. So by the time we hit the webinar on Tuesday, the 6th, we had 374 total subscribers in Messenger. And let me share with you the results. Okay, you ready? So 112 people actually, out of those 374, 112 of them actually clicked through to join the webinar. Okay, so that was 30% of the total subscribers. And out of the 374 people, it was only 47 of them, and actually that was a pretty good number. 47 came through that thank you page link, okay? And the rest of them pretty much came from his email list, all right? So 112 clicked through to join the webinar. 19 of them, which is 5% of the total subscribers, actually clicked through to the sales page to see what was on the sales page and what he was actually selling. And actually 6 people, which was 1.6% of the total subscribers, purchased the course. Now, I have to tell you, the total number of purchases was only 19. So we only had 19 sales on this webinar, and 6 of them, which is 32%, came from Messenger out of 374 people. And the other, and all 19 are in his email list because we didn't do any split testing. So out of 100,000 people, 19 sales, and out of 374 people, 6 sales. But I need to get specific of what that means. Okay, so we look at numbers like we were talking about. Let's break this down and put this in perspective, shall we? So I already know that with all the huge numbers being shouted all over the internet, you might not be impressed by the numbers I just shared with you. Only 374 people and 19 sales and blah, 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 right? But again, let's think about this logically. 374 people would fill a Boeing 747 jumbo jet to 90% capacity. 90% capacity of a Boeing 747, all right? CK, the guy that did the webinar, got 112 of those people to actually watch and pay attention to his in-flight instructions, right? You got the person standing up there telling you all the things you got to do. He got 112 people to pay attention and listen to what he had to say. Nobody listens to the flight attendants, right? Very few people, except those who are nervous. So 112 of them paid attention. Then out of that, 19 of those people, CK convinced them to stand up and put on a parachute, right? Because they went to the sales page. So they were interested in what he had to say beyond just his talk. So 19 of them got up and put on a parachute. And through this webinar and through Messenger, CK actually got 6 people to jump out of the airplane into the vast unknown of his course with him as their only guide. Put it in perspective. These are people. These aren't numbers. Okay? Now let's look at the other side and look at just people on his email list and the total number of people that came to this webinar, and they all came from email. So out of those 100,000 people on his email list, 1,200 of them were actually registered for the webinar. So he had 1,200 people registered for the webinar, and only 350 actually showed up. Okay? 350 people out of 1,200 actually showed up to watch the webinar. So out of when we look at jumbo jets again, that out of the 240 jumbo jets, that represent that 100,000 person email list. I mean, 100,000 people would fill 240 of those 747s. So let's look at that percentage. 350 watched the in-flight presentation. They actually attended the webinar. That's only 0.35%. And 19 of them, again, jumped out of the plane. 19 of them actually purchased, put on their parachutes, and jumped out into the vast unknown of his course with him as the guide. And that 19 sales out of 100,000 is only 0.019%. So again, when you hear huge numbers of subscribers or webinar attendees or sales, please remember, you are engaging with real people. And if you treat those people with respect by sharing real value in Messenger or any other place, if it's just social media in general, if it is your email list and you have, say, a 40% open rate, fan-stinkin-tastic. But whatever it is you're doing, however you're engaging with them, treat them as people and respect them by sharing real value. And when you do that, many more of them will respond in kind by trusting that you are their guide, and they'll jump out of your jumbo jet too. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to make sure you understand that no matter what you do, no matter what you hear online, put it in perspective. I've already shared with you, I think it was 401 or 400 and something, small number, 410 or something like that, people fill a jumbo jet. So the next time you do anything online, if you share a post on Facebook and 400 people like it or have viewed it, okay, because it shows you on Facebook the reach, right? So if you got 400 people, it reached 400 people, you just filled a jumbo jet with your information. All the people on that jumbo jet paid attention to what you had to say. That is a big flippin' deal. Those are people in a jumbo jet looking at you and what you have to say in your in-flight procedures and your talk. And that's just a Facebook post. Same with Twitter. You look at your stats. You look at your blog post. If only 2 people saw it, fan-stinkin-tastic. When you get up to 20 people, that's even better. When you get up to 50 people, 100 people, look at how you're actually expanding your reach. And because the internet is such a noisy place, I would rather have 374 people that actually wanted to hear what I had to say and a higher number of them actually participating in what I had to say. And that's why Messenger is so flippin' amazing. All right? That's why social media is so amazing, because you can see those statistics. And if you, like I said, think of it in jumbo jets. And when you start getting bigger, that's fantastic. You can then think of it as football stadiums, okay? You can think of it as the Colosseum, the Roman Colosseum. Whatever number you want to attach to it, think about it in terms of people and the number of people that would fill that. If you get 100 people that actually see one of your posts, just imagine inviting 100 people over to your house. Where would you put them all? Put it in that perspective. And when you do that, you'll realize that it is not a situation of just put up a course and people will buy it. It's not a situation of just do a webinar and people will buy it. People don't show up at your house. People don't get on that jumbo jet and pay attention to what you have to say and buy what you have to offer them, which is my equivalent of actually putting on the parachute and jumping out of the plane with you. They have to trust you really, to me anyway, for me to part with my money, I've got to trust you in what you're saying. And if you haven't done that, if you haven't engaged with me enough and shown me that not just you know your stuff, but that I like you, because there are people, okay, I took this course in Messenger from Andrew Warner. I like Andrew Warner. He's amazing to me. I resonate with him. I like his communication style. I like what he has to say. There are other people, I will not name them because I'm not trying to do this to be mean to them. There are other people that I could have learned from, but I did not resonate at all one of them in particular just rubbed me the total wrong way. I didn't like anything he had to say. I didn't like the way he said it. I just didn't. So I did not take that course from him. I chose Andrew. That's what I'm talking about. That you have to create that kind of relationship. These are people. When you create the relationship with them, when you actually provide engaging content and not just provide what they need, but have a back and forth with them like they matter and that you're just not after their money, then your numbers will go up. But the difference is if you're doing that only in email, no matter what, 20, no more than 30% of the people in your email list are even seeing what you have to say, let alone interacting with it, because they can't interact in email. All they can do is click a button or click a link. And that's not interacting. That's just clicking a link to go to the next thing that you're showing them. And they're basically consuming in a passive way. They're not active at all. And that's another reason Messenger is so amazing, is because it's not passive, it's totally active. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to sell you on Messenger. I'm trying to sell you on engaging with people. And that's what this is about. That's what online business is about. This is the face of online business. The face of online business is they're people. They want to interact with you. They want to engage with you. They want to get to know you. And the more they get to know you, the more you know this. You've heard it how many millions of times. The more they know, like, and trust you, and then they'll be ready to buy. But you have to think of them not as numbers. Think of them as people. So my question to you is, how are you engaging? How are you ensuring that you engage with your subscribers instead of just trying to make sales and fill jumbo jets? Okay, it's not a contest of how many jumbo jets we can fill. It's a contest of how many jumbo jets we fill with people who care about what we have to say. That's what I'm more interested in. Jumbo jets are not just subscribers. The jumbo jets are the people who actually show up for what we have to say and actually are able to engage with it. How are you ensuring that that's what you're doing? You're filling your jumbo jets not just with subscribers and lukewarm people. You're filling them with people who want to engage with you. And then once you do that, how are you engaging with them? And how are you ensuring that you get them to know, like, and trust you as quickly and safely as possible? And then getting them to jump out of that darn thing and trust you that you're going to deliver what they exactly need. I hope that's what you're doing, because I'm telling you, over the last year, I've worked with over 30, many more than 30 clients. That's just the last count I had, I think, at the end of the year in December. And all of them have different products, different communication styles, different. Some are doing webinars, some are doing launches, some are e-commerce, all kinds of different clients. And what I've learned from them is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It matters how you build relationships. It matters how you engage. All right? I'll stop there, but please put a face on your online business. Put a face on your online business, and you will be more successful. I promise. All right? I so hope you enjoy the journey. I sure as hell am. To get powered up for your day, just go to parentepower.com and listen to the over 200 episodes we have so far with amazing entrepreneurs just like you. It might just help you feel like a grown-up again.